So what's your perspective on collaboration? I think more people need to collaborate.
Oh yeah.
I love collaboration. It could go left and right because you got to have the same morals and values and ethics. So, I've done partnerships where we just don't, we don't have the same morals and ethics on how we think about things. But I think what works for us is not about the money. It's more about the impact. And when we did our live and we did our class together, we showed up because we wanted to impact. It wasn't, hey, bro, where you at? How much time did you put in? Or how much money do you have to invest in this? It's about, did we get the results? Do we got the testimonials? Are they happy with the service that we're providing? And then it was less work, right? So we did 4 classes. I did 2, you did 2, versus when I did my own thing, I got to do all 4. I got to manage the back end. It's a lot of pressure on one person versus having somebody go, okay, we could relieve the stress. And, you make more money doing it that way, and it's less work.
You're listening to this podcast right now, but there are a bunch of people like you that will be listening to your podcast
themselves too
right now. Yeah, I feel that. What's your perspective on collaboration?
I like it. I think it helps a lot of more people at once, and gives somebody a view of that they can be able to do that too. And they don't have to, some people may not see it. You know what I mean? Especially where I'm from. People don't see stuff like this, especially when it comes to putting our minds together and be able to create something like this. So I think it's good for people to see it, so they can be able to do it themselves too. And I think we can hit more people being able to do it in collaboration style instead of just by ourselves.
Those are all really good politically correct answers.
Ooh, hit 'em.
But there has to be some sort of apprehension with collaboration. One, we've all seen people change with money. We've seen some people have some sort of ego complex. We always have to consider that someone's going to do something not extremely ethical, especially when money's involved.
I think it comes down to not being so quick to say yes and be a little reserved. Like for me, I'm a little reserved. Like for example, he reached out to me to collab and I was a little reserved, and so we probably talked in the DMs probably, I don't know how many times before I actually gave him my number, and then we finally got on the phone to talk because I was just like, I got to fill you out a little bit. Because he could have came to me with a $10 million check, I still got to fill you out a little bit more, and vice versa. So I think one of the ways to help prevent that is the vetting process a little bit more. Even in real estate, you got to vet the tenant before, you got first, last, and security, I'll bring you in. Nah, let's vet you out before a little bit. Let's fill you out. What's your background? What's this with this? Sometimes you might even check out their place that they're living at to see how that looks.
Really?
So all those things play a factor before you just say, let's collab. And I think also setting clear expectations. So all 3 of us, we get on Zoom calls or 3-ways, FaceTimes, this is the plan. This is the long-term goal. So we plan on doing this throughout the year. Are you with it or not? If you're not with it, all right, this is the percentage. Are you with it or not? This is the plan. This is the game plan. What you want to do isn't really morally ethical. I'm not with it. If you're not with that, then it's just not going. I think just setting it real clear. There are always things can creep through the cracks when money comes into play, but I think 80% of it could be covered by having those type of convos.
Gotcha. Y'all have a contract?
Well, we
put one together now, but when we first did it, it was just let's just do it.
Yeah.
He bust their ass with that one. Y'all have a contract? Now here's the deal. They have a website. It's too late. You done messed up. Look at this. They got all these testimonials supposedly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got 10 testimonials. They got products, platinum. So right now there's money coming in and there's no legal business set up. Now, understand these gentlemen are trying to teach you how to take your money, flip it in a legal way, in a way that's going to create what they said, create wealth moving forward. But as 3 separate gentlemen, as 3 separate entities, they still don't have the mindset that everything got to be put on paper. I don't care if you're doing business with your mama. Any legitimate businessman knows that the very first thing we need to do is iron out the terms, get a contract put together, 750 approved. That's my company. However, the the back end of it, the AI generating software, that is not my company. I own a portion of it, in which there is a contract which states I own 25% of it. Everything needs paperwork. How can you do business without paperwork? Website done. Money is already being generated. But the answer to the question that they was just asked, hold on, let's do this again.
Money comes into play, but like I think 80% of it could be covered by having those type of convos.
Gotcha. Y'all have a contract?
Quick.
Well,
we put one together now.
Everybody lost. Yeah.
When we first did it, it was just like, yo, let's just do it.
Yeah, off trust. So, how do you feel about not having a contract?
Come on, man.
I mean, I trust them for the most part, but I see
How long have you known them?
These dudes met at Recession. I guarantee it.
Let me see. I think Moog is like two. I don't know if it's been
a year, a little over a year.
a year and a half, 2 years. I think Boom probably a year.
Only reason I'm having this conversation is I'm always thinking of the viewers, and I think what you guys are doing is amazing. But
Come on, David.
so, for instance, me and what my wife do is amazing. Like, we have a great relationship, but
Wife.
I'll say something, and then we'll argue about the thing that I said because she thinks I said one thing, I think I said another thing, and it's not on paper. So, like, I really wish there was like what's it called, a stenographer?
It's a flip.
What's it called? I so wish. Because I'm like, yo, you were in the conversation we talked about, and it was different. So for the viewers, like when we start putting these collaborations.
Everybody who's been in a relationship is married. You've all had these situations where he said, she said, I said, you said. I always tell my wife, nobody has a transcript. I can't prove you wrong. You can't prove me wrong. And sometimes, typically, if her feelings ain't too involved in it, it'll start to quell the situation. But what happens when this happens with somebody you ain't sleeping with? With somebody there is no penalty for you dealing harshly enough with? What happens then? And this is what he's trying to poke around and say without... I mean, he realizes now he didn't hit a nerve with them. He done kind of messed up with them a little bit. Their youth is showing. Their inexperience is showing. Their lack of legitimate business savvy and acumen is showing. Let's see how this winds up.
Together, because I think it doesn't work more than it does work, and especially,
big facts.
I think what's also awesome is y'all all have your own individual businesses. So I just wanted to like
prove it,
just out of curiosity.
So just for the record, we actually putting a contract together right now. Like it'll probably be done like tomorrow.
Yeah. It's in review.
Yeah. So
I got you. So before y'all, okay, I got you.
So we learned from someone else, and we said, look, even though we already got some steam, it's not hurting anything to stop and put something together real fast. So just for the sake of conversation, we are putting something together right now. But the previous stuff, let's just run it. Yeah.